accused. I see exactly how Cliff and Gambaccini feel about being publicly wrongly accused of something. A bit like when the bomb squad came here, it was preposterous and ludicrous, but the damage and implications professionally will be long lasting. That's why I'm going to have to go to such great cost and effort to clear my name. The consequences, though, for being wrongly accused in certain crimes are undoubtedly much more serious even than mine. As awful as it's been for me for the last 2 years, imagine the police wrongfully press releasing that you were a paedophile, for example, after you stole a Greggs sausage roll. That's led to the suicide of a man. In the Supremes, the impact these police officers can have on your life is life-changing. And for them, it's a day at the office. For people like me, it's professionally suicidal in some cases, literally. We look at the man who was accused of stealing a Greggs sausage roll. It then turned out the police got it wrong when accusing him in court papers, in charge papers, after custody, that he was a paedophile based on nothing. It was a totally innocent mistake. Another one by the police that has cost him his life. He was taunted, he was harassed and bullied in the street and couldn't take it. This 34-year-old man, I believe, has taken his own life. There's another incident, power that the state has. When the BBC says something, we must believe it. When the police say something, we must believe it, even when they're fucking wrong. And even when their motive is nothing but disingenuous and evil. It sounds kind of funny that a guy was arrested over a sausage roll. But the notion that it's ended up in his suicide because of a fuck up by the police that ruined his life and reputation, that led to him being harangued in the street over something that was untrue, this has to stop and change. This man had no way of denying what he was accused of because the police said it, and therefore it must be true. When are we going to wake up and realise, as I'll bring you in a video later, the police are not to be trusted? They're scum-sucking pond life in many...
Like the drag queens and
yes, perverts. Yes, we mustn't have children being shown private parts by these perverts and nonsense disguised as reading stories in libraries and brunches in America. No, these perverts with the tits and cocks out in front of children, they should be locked up, and I hope they rot in hell. Yes, what do you think about them?
Well, pretty much the same, to be honest with you. I don't really agree with it, to be honest.
Well, no sane person could. The only people who could are twirlies. Apparently, they're now going to say they're pantomime dames. They're not pantomime dames. A pantomime dame is in a theatre on a stage and keeps its clothes on and its private parts covered. These perverts, and they're not all like it, it's just a lot of them, they deserve to have protesters bring them and hold them to account. I think the notion that our children would see a man in a dress who is not trans, this isn't trans, there's nothing to do with trans, we're all pro-trans here at the Voice of Reason for that very tiny 0.3% of the population. These are men who are often mentally ill, who go and put on a frock and then get their private parts out dancing and jiggling with children. They're paedophiles in disguise, and we need to be very cautious before we allow them without checks into any public building. And why do they need to do it dressed as a woman? Do it as a man. If you want to read stories to children, read them as a man, like a grown-up person, not an infantilized pervert. They make me very, very, very scared, and they're infiltrating under the guise of LGBTQ. They're nothing to do with LGBTQ. Drag is something that Danny LaRue and people invented. It is for the stage only and not for children.